You know what's really awesome about God? I remember when I was reading the story about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in Daniel chapter 3. And Nebuchadnezzar said, if y'all, I'm going to give y'all another chance to bow down to this idol of me. But if you don't, he said, I'm going to heat the furnace 7 times hotter than it's ever been heated. I'm going to kill you 7 times deader than anybody's ever been killed. I mean, their response that I ain't bowing down to your idol made this man lose his mind. I'm going to kill you 7 times deader. Like, if you're going to throw him in the fire, pretty much the degrees of heat of a fire, the lowest or the hottest, is going to kill you. Unless you're dealing with God fire, because you know in the Bible there's 3 different kinds of fire. There's the fire that burns. That's the kind that Elijah called down from heaven and consumed the captain and his 50. There's the fire that don't burn. That's the fire that talked to Moses from the burning bush, but the bush was not consumed. And then there's the most unique fire in the Bible. I call it the fire that burns some folk and don't burn other folk. That's from Daniel chapter 3, where the most mighty men who were in Nebuchadnezzar's army threw Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the fire, and the fire was so hot it killed the men that threw them in, but they fell down bound in the midst of the fire, and it only burned off their robes. What? You say, Myron, what's your point? They said, our God whom we serve is able, and he will. I love about God, something we find in God that we don't find in any other person or in many other people. He's both able and willing. See, you got a lot of folk in your life who are willing to help you when you're in need, but they just ain't able. You might know a couple people in your life who are able, but they don't like you that much. They just ain't willing, right? But in God, we find both willing and able. And so the pain of relationships is relationships are hard because other people aren't you, right? If you want to know how hard it's going to be for you to control somebody else, think about how hard it is for you to control you. All right, I rest my case. Defense rests, Your Honor. Okay, so the pain of rejection. For me, the pain of rejection was a great pain in my life growing up because I had this brace on my leg and I couldn't run, so I just got picked last when we were playing games. Like, not with my brothers, I didn't, because they had compassion, but I knew if they didn't pick me last, they weren't picking me last just so they wouldn't pick me last.